Hey, welcome guys. We are in week 4 already, believe it or not, and we're working with chapter 7 in our textbook, working with distortions, gradient meshes, envelopes, and blends. Of course, our textbook is Adobe Illustrator Creative Cloud Revealed by Chris Botello. And the first thing that I'm going to do or demo is exercise 7-2, adding transparency to a gradient mesh. We're going to first create a gradient mesh, and by doing that we are going to open 7-4 and save it as circle mesh. So you want to make sure that Illustrator is activated. Do File and Open. We're going to navigate out to where our data files are, which is here somewhere. And we're looking for 7-4. And I am going to just make this a little bit smaller so we can see both sides of our screen, or my screen's a little bit small, but we can still see it. And I'm going to get rid of this particular panel. All right, so once we have that open, we're going to do a File, Save As. And this is called a circle mesh. You want to put your name there as well, _ Nancy Slater, or Slater N. All right, now we're going to verify that the Layers panel is visible. We're going to go here to make sure that the Layers panel is visible. We're going to select the circle, so you want to make sure that you have the selection tool. Select the circle, go to Object on the menu bar, and then we're going to go down to Create Gradient Mesh. Now we're going to type 2 in the rows text box and 2 in the columns, and then I'm going to preview it first just so we can see it. And I will allow, since it doesn't really indicate which area, how we want to see this, I'm just going to leave it as flat, and then we're going to click OK. We want to deselect that circle, and then we're going to click on the edge of the circle with the direct selection tool. So we're going to come back over here to our toolbox, and we are going to click and hold on the group selection tool and get the direct selection tool, and just click on the edge of the circle. And you'll see that that allows us to see the gradient mesh that we've established thus far. We're going to select the center mesh point and then click a yellow swatch on the swatches panel. So you want to get this yellow one, and then we're going to go up to the swatches panel and we're going to look for a yellow swatch. I'm not sure if they want something yellow beyond what the yellow already is, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. We're going to open a swatch library, and we're going to pull up the default swatches, which are basic RGB. Have all kinds in there, so we're going to then just select a yellow swatch. And then we're going to move the center point to the green X. So again, we've got the direct selection tool. We're going to click drag, and we are going to drop this center mesh point on the green X, and you'll see how that changes the highlight. If you were looking at this as a drawing and creating a three-dimensional look to a two-dimensional object, we've just changed the light source to the bottom left-hand side by making that differentiation. What's nice about this is that the mesh points can be moved just like anchor points, so you can change where you want your highlight to go, or shadows when we choose to add shadows. Now we're going to move the direction lines at the top, bottom, left, and right of the circle's edge, as shown in figure 12. So we are going to, and you'll see that the shape of the mesh is manipulated by the direction lines. So I'm going to close this out so we can see it. And I'm going to click once on this anchor point, and I'm going to change the direction lines, which are these little handles, over this way on the top. I'm going to select the center anchor point, and that pretty much remains the same, it looks like. I'm going to choose this anchor point, and I'm going to move this directional line over to this direction. I'm going to choose this anchor point, get the directional line or directional point, I call it directional point, actually they're handles, and then again choose this one as well and change, click and hold, or click and drag on this handle to make this a little bit different. And this looks pretty much the same. This one looks like it maybe needs to be changed just a tiny bit. All right, we're going to click the Mesh tool. So we're going to go to the toolbox and we're going to look for the Mesh tool, which is right here. Or U if you are going to use your quick key to access it. And then you want to click on the blue X, and you'll see that a new mesh point is added to the mesh, and by default the same yellow fill has been applied to it. I'm not sure if it applied that same yellow fill because I didn't have that in my fill box, but there it is. All right, and then you can press Shift while you click the Mesh tool to add a mesh point without applying the current fill color. So if I wanted to not apply that current fill color, then I could also hold down the Shift and click to add a new mesh point. Now we are going to click the white swatch on the swatches panel to change the color of that mesh point to white. That's still selected, and we're going to click on white, and that changes that mesh point then to white. And then we're going to do a Command or Control S to save our work, and we're going to close out this document. And I'll be back in just a moment to work with you on the heart mesh.